What's going on, everyone? My name is Chris Rickenbaugh, and you are listening to the Figuring It Out Finance podcast, episode number 91. I'm going to be breaking down a new flip. It would be deal number 4 that I've done this year and closed on. So, a little bit about this podcast. I quit a low-paying sales job earlier this year in April 2024, and then decided to go full-time into real estate. So, this will be my 4th flip in 6 months. So I'm using this podcast to document my journey in real estate and business while also talking a little bit about travel hacking and personal finance. So before we hop into today's episode of the Deal Breakdown, go ahead and follow me on all the socials where I post daily on TikTok and Instagram. And then you can find all of the links to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts on figuringitoutfinance.com. So go check it out, go listen to the podcast, and go follow me. So deal number 4. So it has been a little bit of a crazy past week. So just to break it all down, I was in Miami Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, checking out or watching LeBron play. The Heat versus Lakers game. I've always wanted to see him play, so I finally got to go down there and see it, and I'm going to be breaking down that trip on the points and how we booked it and everything. It'll probably be a shorter episode, but, just very interesting how you can use the points for these things, and that'll free up your money to go do those cool things like go to see LeBron play. Anyway, so we were down in Miami, and I just got the text as soon as we landed that the house we had under contract was still going to need more time in probate. So we had the funds all ready to go, and they said, hey, we need 2 more weeks. And we're like, all right, whatever, like that's fine. So we come back after the Thanksgiving break, and we'd been waiting on it. We're ready to go whenever they are. And then we got the email that said, hey, we don't know when we're going to close. So we could push it out 90 days. That's what the wholesaler tells me. But talking to the attorney, they still have to go through some certain things, or the seller has to go through some certain things because it's in a trust and it's not owned by any of the individuals. They have to do quite a few more things to be able to get this probate process going. So it could be 2 weeks to about 2 years. So we were trying to figure out at that time, we had nothing else going on. We're thinking, all right, we have the funds. I'm checking out a house as soon as we get back on Thursday. Like, let's just keep the down payment down, or the earnest money of $5,000 down, so we can hang on to it and have it that whenever this probate process is over, that we're going to be good to go. So we did that. And the next day, we're just killing time out in Miami, and I get a call from my partner and says, hey, I have this house. Are you interested in buying it? I'm like, well, shoot me the information. So we hop on a call. The other investor that was supposed to be buying it didn't have stuff lined up and wasn't going to be able to close and was going to lose quite a bit of money on it. So they said, hey, this is how much it is to be able to close on the house. I'd only have to come out of pocket $1,500. And it's like, and we'd be able to use that investor's money to be able to buy that house. So we said, all right, let's do it. So we were able to get that thing closed in 2 days. So from Wednesday, when I first got it sent, we were able to sit down on Friday at the closing table. So within 48 hours, we were able to get it under contract and then purchase it. So I wanted to break down the entire deal and all the numbers, and that was the overlook. So now we're going to get into a little bit of the meat and potatoes of it. So the purchase price of this house was $277,000, and we estimated 2 GCs estimated $60,000 in renovations. So I have not walked the property. I've only driven by it. So I've been able to see that it's going to need new windows and need a new HVAC. So that is on top of the interior remodel costs. So then we go to the square footage. It's about 1,472 square feet. So 1,472. We're going to multiply that by about 45,000. And then it doesn't look too bad on the inside. It's going to need flooring, 2 bathrooms, and a kitchen, and then, paint. So nothing too crazy. So we go about $40 a square foot. I run my numbers off of 45. Everything came back for me at about 65,000 in reno. So it's going to be within that ballpark, within a couple thousand. But with my contractor being able to get really good deals at Lowe's, it lowers that price for us to where I felt comfortable with that 60,000 number. So what made this a really good opportunity for me? So we're looking at an ARV of 450,000 plus. So looking at it, that gives us a really good spread on the flip. And I actually have the breakdown here. So looking at it, when we purchased it at 277, we're going to put 60,000 into it, and say like base case scenario, we sell it at 425. So that's going to be a net profit of about 43,000. And that's just on, the base case side. So that's, for me, it's going to be a heck of a flip. Like, that's a great spread. And then in the worst case scenario, if we had to sell it at 400, which no way, we'd still make just about $19,000. You'd have to pay your, some fees back, but this is including all of those special fees, the holding costs, the hard money, the commissions, and that's how I get my net profit. So that is the base case of about $43,000. I'm going to be paying about $6,000 in holding on to private money fees. So that's going to be $6,000 back. So then it's still a $37,000 profit, even in the base case. But the best case scenario is being able to sell that thing at 450, which we have projected. For me, as a base case, this is what 450 would be. But if we sell it at that, that's going to be a $65,000 net profit. Take out the $6,000, and then you're going to be looking at easily over a $55,000 net profit on this flip. So that is the deal breakdown. So that gives us a lot of different exit strategies. So I know that it's going to be a heck of a flip, and that the tenants are in it right now. We're starting the eviction process, and we're going to be able to, since they're on a month-to-month lease, it's not going to be very tough. We're just not going to renew it. Then, special situation, being past owners, they're going to be able to hopefully move out quick and not give us any problems, and then we're going to be able to start work. So that means I have just about till the end of the month, so about 3-ish weeks, that hopefully we'll be able to start work, maybe even a little bit earlier. But so we have 3 weeks. What do we do now? So I decided, I'm like, I have 3 weeks. Let me just throw it out into Facebook groups and see if anybody wants to bite at it at a number to where I'm still going to make about, 25 to 30,000 without having to do anything to it. So I threw that number out at 320, 5K earnest money, and I said, all right, figure out, something to give me. I'm not desperate to sell it. If you can give me my number, I'll do it today. But that just saves me from all of the headaches. I had never done this before because everything we've gotten under contract has just been, bang, bang. Like we're not having a very long closing process. It's been pretty quick. So now that we have this time, I'm like, let's just try it out. So threw that out at 320. We have somebody looking to walk it. And, if they come in any lower than 315, I'm probably not even going to look at it. So on the other side, we had that 450K ARV, and he actually told me that they're looking at a 460,000 plus ARV, which makes me even a little bit more excited that our best case scenario isn't even the best case scenario. So that's what I'm saying is it's going to be a heck of a flip. Not desperate to sell it at all. Just wanted to be able to test those waters and see, what happens. Let's see if we can wholesale this thing or sell it. And that way we get our money back. We can move right into the next project. So that is the flip number 4 deal breakdown. So I hope you guys get a little bit out of that. And eventually I want to be able to have this on video to where I'm breaking it down on a whiteboard and can show real numbers and see how I'm breaking this down, because it's very, very simple on, how we vet the deals coming in and the opportunities coming to us, because it's all simple. We find that ARV, we multiply it by 75%, we subtract the renovation costs, which you can get by multiplying the square footage of the home. If it needs everything and it's not completely destroyed, everything on the inside is going to be coming out to about $45 a square foot, and then you just tag on what else is extra on the outside of the house. So if it needs new windows, new HVAC, new roof, that's all going to be on top of that $45 per square foot on the inside. So say it's $1,000. Say it's 1,000 square foot house, and then it's going to need a new roof and a new HVAC. So 1,000 square feet times 45, that takes care of everything inside. The roof is going to be about $7,000, and then a new HVAC system is going to be about $8,000. So you add that $8,000 and $7,000 from the outside on top of that $45,000, and that's going to get you to a $60,000 renovation. So that's how we run the numbers. So it's simple. ARV times 75%, add in or subtract the renovation costs, and that is going to get the number where you can submit an offer. Your highest offer needs to be no higher than that number. So that's running it very, very deep, and that keeps us very safe when we're putting in offers, because we know if we're anywhere between that 5,000 to 10,000 range of that number, we got a really good opportunity in front of us, and that we should probably buy it. So that's all I got for today. Friday, I'll be back on the podcast breaking down that Miami trip from the points and miles perspective. So thank you for tuning in to episode number 91 of the Figuring It Out Finance podcast. This is Chris Rickenbaugh signing off.